Hey, what is going on, Blue Crew? Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you've had a productive day. I hope it's been a faith-based day. I hope that everything you've put your hand to today has prospered. So let's go ahead and dive into this. First and foremost, if you're catching the replay, if you can just do me a favor and comment #replay in the comments below. The reason why is because that allows us to know who's actually catching this live and who's actually catching the replay. Okay. And so let's just dive in today, because I don't want today to be too long. I say that all the time, don't I? I don't want today to be too long, because tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day that everything changes. Tomorrow is the day that we let our voices be heard. Tomorrow is the day where we stand and we stand united, coast to coast, from the north, south, east to the west, and states all over the nation. Tomorrow's the day that it happens. And so what I want to talk about really quickly is I want to talk about how to have faith that tomorrow's rallies are actually going to make a difference. And the reason why I think this is so important is because every single day, especially if you're connected in other pro-Leo groups, you have a lot of other friends that are pro-Leo, and maybe you're in part of some groups that are Trump groups, what have you. You're going to see a lot of rallies happening all over the place. And they can range from just a handful of people all the way to a parade as far as the eyes can see, and all the way to motorcycle clubs, right? Just representing the blue and them standing up, letting their voices be heard. And it seems like none of these rallies are really making a difference. Yesterday we talked about, and yesterday's Blue Crew Live, we talked about reality and then our perspective of it. And some of us, our lenses are so jacked up that we can't see the small steps that are being taken right now. We can't see what's going on, the differences that are being made. And in some cases, sure, there's no differences being made. I totally get that. But we got to have faith. We've got to have faith and hope for the best. One of the things that I like to tell people all the time, because I am an optimist. I very much am an optimist. And I people tell me, well, Lee, I'm a realist. Lee, I'm a realist. Well, let me tell you what an optimist is. An optimist doesn't mean that everything is sunshine, rainbows, leprechauns, that are walking on water all the way to the pot of gold. That's not what being an optimist is. It's not blind optimism. Optimism is acknowledging the situation that we're in, acknowledging the circumstance. Oh, I'm going to preach to somebody today. It's acknowledging the circumstance. And instead of settling, you look at the situation, you look at the circumstance, and you say, how do I optimize this situation, this circumstance? How do I optimize this to get the best out of it? How do I optimize this situation, the reality of the situation, to get the most out of it? And so whenever we're talking about faith, when we're talking about how do I know, how can I have faith that tomorrow's actually going to make a difference? How can I have faith in that? Well, here's what I want to tell you about faith. Is that number one, the Bible says faith without works is dead, right? Just belief. Faith in and of itself, I don't believe is just faith. I believe it's belief. But faith is whenever you believe something so deeply, and you know it so deeply and so intimately that it springs you into action. It compels you to take action. It's kind of like if somebody was to come and steal your vehicle from your driveway right now. You know that is your vehicle. You know that is your vehicle. You don't have to have faith, you know. And so because you know that's your vehicle, if somebody steals it, you're going to call 911, and you're not going to hesitate in letting them know, hey, that's my vehicle. They stole my vehicle. Here's the color. Here's the make. Here's the model. Here's the year. Here's the VIN number. I don't know how I know that, but here's the VIN number. Oh, because I got Geico and I saved 15% last month. I could pull it up on the app. Just kidding. But, here's the license plate number, right? So you give them all this information. You don't hesitate. You don't hesitate. Why? Because you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that's your car. So when we talk about faith is knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt. It's not seeing a thing and then believing it. It's believing a thing and knowing the truth so much that it compels you to take action. Faith without works is dead. And dead faith is not faith at all. So when we talk about faith, how can we have faith that tomorrow on October the 10th, nationwide, these rallies are really going to make a difference? Just like being an optimist. Being an optimist isn't denying the reality of the situation. It's merely optimizing the situation, acknowledging it and then optimizing it to make the most out of it. In the same way, faith doesn't deny a problem exists. Faith doesn't deny the reality of the situations. You know that, guys? Faith doesn't deny the reality of the situation. But what faith does is it denies it a place of influence. Faith denies that problem or that circumstance or that situation a place of influence. And so, sure, tomorrow may make a difference. It may not. But by golly, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to go to the rally and I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to show up. I'm going to step up. I'm going to serve. Whenever if there are any protesters, I'm going to treat them with respect, no matter how they treat me, no matter how they treat our group. I'm going to love on them. I'm going to treat them with respect. I'm going to tell them I love them. I'm going to tell them about Jesus. Come on, somebody. They need Jesus, right? We're going to love them. We're not going to combat them. And that's something else too. If you're going to your rally, which I hope you are, I hope that you're going to get to a rally tomorrow and let your voice be heard. Very important to understand. We're not doing this to physically be combative, but we're doing this to combat an idea. We're not fighting against people. We're fighting against an idea. The Bible says we wage war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. We wage war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. You know what? I feel like I'm preaching up in here, and I'm preaching up in here so good, I got to get a drink of my drink. Oh, man. It's Texas, so it's Dr. Pepper, and I'm supposedly on a diet, so it's Diet Dr. Pepper. Oh, come on, somebody. All right. So, faith. Will you have faith tomorrow? Will you stand with us and lock arms with us? And will you have faith with us that tomorrow is going to make a difference? And then will you allow that faith, will you believe it so much that you just know it to be true, allow you to lead you and guide you into what you do and into your actions, just to take action? So important, guys. Again, faith doesn't deny a problem exists. Faith denies that problem a place of influence in your life. Some of you, oh man, I'm going to start to preach. I need to shut up. Some of you are letting your circumstances dictate your destiny. Some of you are walking up to God and telling him how big your mountain is instead of walking up to the mountain and telling him how big your God is. It's time, guys. It's time. It's time to walk up to that giant like David did. It's time to walk up to that mountain and let the mountain know how big our God is and that we're going to take the country back. That we're going to fight to put God back in schools. That we're going to fight to put prayer back in schools. Oh man, I've got to stop because I'm going to start preaching up in here if I haven't been already. Oh man, I don't want this to go long. I really don't want this to go long. I'm fired up, guys. I'm fired up. Oh man. Some of you are legitimately in pain right now. Some of you are hurting. But I want to encourage you today that pain that you're going through right now, if you'll push through to your breakthrough, that pain, on the other side of that pain is purpose. God has a purpose for you. He has a destiny for you. Jeremiah 29:11 says that he has a plan for you, a good plan to prosper you, not to harm you, but a plan to give you a hope and to give you a future. I want to empower you guys going into tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be a fight, not a physical one, not a physical fight, but a cultural fight, a spiritual fight. And what I want to do is I want to take an opportunity. I want to highlight. So number one, I'm going to give a shout out to all of our rally captains, because They deserve it. Our rally captains have worked really hard over the past few weeks. Some of them just stepped up to the plate a week or less ago because they want to be part of what we're doing, and they've been busting their butts. And guys, I just want to give a shout out to our rally captains. I really want to encourage you, please, 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 if you can, get to a rally tomorrow. If you're an able-bodied person, if you have the ability, please get to a rally tomorrow. Let your faith not be dead, but let it be active. Put it to work. Remember, faith without works is dead. We got to take action, guys. We got to take action. Okay, so shout out. And I'm actually going to highlight some of these, and I apologize. I keep picking at my nose because we're live. It is what it is, all right? Just be raw here. All right. In St. Mary's, Georgia, and I really want to highlight Ben Cannon and Sherry Walker. It started out Sherry by herself, and, Ben wanted to do a rally. He lives up near Atlanta, and he wanted to do something, but he couldn't. Atlanta's kind of a hot spot right now. And so when he learned that Sherry had kind of taken that torch for Georgia, he reached out to Sherry, and then together they've been busting butt. And we're talking about zero experience putting together rallies, but they have shown me their plan. As a matter of fact, I actually met with Sherry and her chief of police and several others there on a Zoom the other day, because that's how much effort they're putting into this. They're getting their city involved, and they're excited there in St. Mary's about what's going on. Guys, I'm fired up. And Ben, Sherry, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys so much, and y'all are going to kill it tomorrow. Peachtree City, Georgia, Jenny Wilson. This was, guys, I'm just going to be real and transparent. Jenny has been relentless in wanting to be a rally captain. And we were a little bit, about it at first, because she's not having it at 2:00 in Georgia. We're having it at 1:00 here. It's 1:00 Central, but that's actually 2:00 Eastern. She's not going to be having it at 2:00. And so we struggled with it a little bit, but we said, you know what? We don't want Jenny to feel discouraged from participating on Saturday just because of time issues. If 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., if that's the only time that she can put on a rally, let's do it. Let's do it. And so we gave her the green light, and she went to work. Talk about commitment. And so, Jenny, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being willing to press in and to be persistent in making this happen in your part of the state of Georgia. Amy Lee Douglas in Colorado Springs. I've been communicating with Amy back and forth. She's been a little bit concerned because, in Colorado Springs, there's actually another rally going on. A group that claims to be patriotic, but they don't share the same heartbeat that we do. They talk about having, what was the term, Amy, that they used? Soup parties or a soup kitchen or something. There's also protests, like BLM and Antifa protests going on the same day. Right, it's gonna get pretty wicked, and it was a little bit discouraging because this is on the same day, and they started using verbiage that we use. Right, the patriotic group, they started using verbiage that we use, but she didn't let that slow her down. She just moved the location, and she said, you know what? She said this today, guys. She said, as a matter of fact, no, I won't pull up my email. She said this today. She said, I don't care if 5 people show up. I'm going to consider that a success. Abso-freaking-lutely, that would be a success because you took action. You did whatever it took to make a rally happen in your state of Colorado, what I like to call the high state. No, not that kind of high. There's mountains in Colorado. Come on, don't go that direction. In Phoenix, Arizona, Tara Emmon. Oh my gosh, she's literally only been a captain for a week and a half, maybe a week. And she's like, why is there not a rally in Arizona? You know what she did? There's actually another rally happening in Phoenix called the Red Rally, I believe. And she's just going to have the rally right there at their rally. They're not going to mind. I think she actually reached out to them and said, hey, we want to do this. I don't think they're going to mind, right? And so she did whatever it took, and she's being smart about it, right? She's being smart. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, she's like, there's already another group doing something here. I'm just going to team with these guys, right? And she hasn't had a lot of time to plan, but you know what? She loves God. She loves people. She wants to change the world, and she's making it happen. And so, Tara, thank you so much. And I've got a few others here that I want to highlight, but you know what? We have some folks that have also stepped up to the plate as rally captains that have been rally captains before. Heck, they were rally captains back on July 18th of this year. And so, in Rancho Santa Margarita, California, Margarita, that's a mouthful, number one. And number two, Margarita. Rancho Santa Margarita, California, Jill Ellers and Donna Kading. Thank you guys for stepping up to the plate. I know that your rallies are going to be massive, and thank you for willing to step up to the plate in good old California. The response from California has been overwhelming. I think that many Californians are just sick of it. I think they're sick of it because we have another rally going on in Sacramento in the house. Can you believe that? Sacramento, California. Richard Larson, thank you so much for stepping up to the plate. I am fired up about California. First time in my life. I've been to LA. It's not really all that. But I'm fired up about California tomorrow. Thank you for stepping up to the plate, guys. In Downers Grove, Illinois, Maria Wagner. Maria, man, thank you so much for stepping up to the plate for Illinois. And in Wyandotte, Michigan. I've never heard that. It sounds like it probably is an Indian word, right? But in Wyandotte, Michigan, Dr. Don Dodge stepped up to the plate. And you know what? Whenever we had our rally captain orientation on Monday night on Zoom, I got to hear Dr. Dawn's heart. And you know what? She really does share the same heartbeat as Bridge the Blue. She really does. And so it's a privilege to have you as one of our rally captains, Dr. Dawn. And thank you so much for stepping up to the plate. In Coon Rapids, Minnesota. Now, this is a new developing location. Coon Rapids, right? It wasn't in Coon Rapids initially. Initially, it was in, I don't remember. I literally just changed the location today because Vincent Kunicki, rally captain in Minnesota, in Coon Rapids, ran into some issues with the city he was going to be having them in. And he could have said, no, I'm just going to cancel it. Nope. That's not what he did. He pushed through. And said, I'm just going to move it. We're just going to move the location. We're going to make it happen anyway. Vincent, thank you so much for stepping up to the plate. It's so easy to give up. That's what most people do. Most people give up whenever they come across adversity. Not you, my brother. And I appreciate your commitment. Thank you for fighting. Thank you for pushing through. Thank you for caring enough about our law enforcement and your community and our country for finding a way to pivot around the problem and still make it happen. Thank you so much, Vincent Kunicki. In Fernley, Nevada, Lori Swank, she's going to be in Nevada, in Fernley. I have no idea where Fernley is. At least I didn't until I looked on the map. But, Nevada's a pretty big state, right? And so just, Lori, thank you so much for stepping up to the plate in Nevada. And that is your rally captain in Nevada. Eatontown, New Jersey. I can't say enough about Helena, and I believe your last name is Pepe Coles. I think I've never pronounced your last name. I think it's Helena Pepe Coles. Even though we've talked numerous times, I just call you Helena. Guys, she's never done anything like this before. Completely green. I mean, in the tech world, we would say a complete noob. She's newbie, right? She's never done this before, but she stepped up to the plate and she's been in contact with us every step of the way. And she's been asking questions. And here's the thing. And I like to tell people this. There's no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask. And she has asked a ton of great questions, and she's going to be putting on a great rally. And she's getting the community together, getting members of the community, speakers, the whole nine, just freaking fired up. And so, Helena, thank you for your commitment to this rally and for getting out of your box and for being willing to step outside your comfort zone. Guys, you realize that the only way to grow your comfort zone is to stretch it, right? So you stretch your comfort zone by going a little bit outside. Right? It's kind of like a rubber band. If you stretch a rubber band outside of the area that it's intended, that keeps it loose, if you will, whenever you stretch it and you put pressure on it and then it expands, but then whenever it's released, it's a little bit bigger, right? So you can expand your comfort zone by stretching yourself outside your comfort zone. And before you know it, what used to put fear and strike fear into your heart is no longer a big deal. It's kind of like me being in front of a camera right now. The more that I did it, the more comfortable I got. And now it's no big deal being on camera. I could care less. I actually enjoy being on camera. So, stretching outside your comfort zone. So, Helena, thank you. In Jamestown, New York, Dan Bass, thank you so much for stepping up to the plate. Thank you so much in New York State, of all places. Guys, New York State needs this so bad. So, thank you for being willing to step up to the plate. Hilliard, Ohio. I said a lot about Jessica Davis and Josh Kelly yesterday. And Markel. I'm actually not going to highlight them so much today. If you want to hear what I had to say about them, go and check it out. You check out yesterday's, HD Live. Yesterday's Blue Crew Live. Go check that out. But in Hilliard, Ohio, Jessica Davis and Josh Kelly, again, thank you for everything that you guys are going to rock it tomorrow. And LaGrande, Oregon. There's a lot going up in Washington, Oregon, and we're not actually done yet, right? We got a rally happening in Seattle. Oh yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But thank you so much, Kyle, for stepping up to the plate in LaGrande, Oregon. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Colton Hawk, he actually stepped up to the plate literally a week and a half ago. Literally a week. You know what? Because he was like, hey, there's no rallies. There's no rallies in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, nobody stepped up to the plate. He's like, well, I will. And I was like, yeah, brother. Yeah, buddy. So we got him on board as a rally captain, got all the information to him. He was, he's been plugged in and with us every step of the way. He's going to be putting on a killer rally, and he's a young dude too. Colton, thank you for stepping up to the plate. Now let's get to Seattle for a moment. We all know Seattle is kind of a war zone. But that didn't stop Savannah Kearns. She said, you know what? Yeah, Seattle may be a war zone, but you know what? I'm just going to be smart about it. And so she's having it north of Seattle. It's still Seattle, but it's north of Seattle where they're very pro law enforcement. But the fact that Seattle, Washington is on the map for our Silent No More rallies is huge. Huge. I don't know if there's any other state, any other city that needs this any more than Seattle. And so Savannah, not only are you brave as crap, I mean, you're brave, but you're also a person of faith, and you don't live by fear. You live by faith, and you know that somebody's got to step up to the plate. There's still innocent people amidst the war zone that need to be represented. There's still innocent people. And you recognize that. Human lives. We talked yesterday about the value of human life. If you really value human life, then it doesn't matter how they vote. It doesn't matter if they see the world the same way that you do. If you value human life, you don't say things like, they made their bed, they can lay in it. You value human life, you fight for that human life. Just like we fight for unborn human lives. And then, of course, last but not least, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I talked a little bit about this yesterday. Conroe, Texas. This was. I will say this, is that our rally in our home state was a little bit, it got off to a rough start. And the reason why is because we were looking for somebody else to step up to the plate. Not that we didn't want to put on our own rally, but, we're a little bit tapped out, if you will, after July 18th, not only having a live rally on July 18th, then going live on a 2.5 hour live stream, right? And then a month later, a big event in Missouri at Lake of the Ozarks. And then a month later, less than a month later, on 9/11 with Lee Greenwood, right? And then now we're doing these Silent No More rallies tomorrow. So we were a little bit tapped out. So we were hoping somebody else in the state. Whenever we realized that wasn't going to happen, we stepped up to the plate. And I want to give a shout out to Victoria. Victoria had zero experience doing anything like this as far as putting on a rally. She didn't know what to do. And so Victoria, thank you for stepping up to the plate. Unfortunately, Victoria had to step down because she got sick and she wasn't going to be able to put her all in her heart into this. And one of the things I love about Victoria is she doesn't, excuse my language, she doesn't do anything half-assed. If she's going to do it, she's going to go all in and she's going to do it right. She's going to do it with excellence. And so I love that about Victoria. She's committed. But whenever she got sick, she was unable to commit. And so we, I took over as rally captain. And if you guys want to know what's going on in Conroe tomorrow from 1 to 5, teaming up with Texas Youth, if you want to hear those details, again, that's in our Blue Crew Live from yesterday. Definitely go check that out. And so with that, again, I want to give just a round of applause and a shout out to every single rally captain that stepped up to the plate, that said, you know what, I'm going to take responsibility, that I'm not going to allow myself to be paralyzed by fear. I realize that I can't pass the buck to somebody else. If somebody's going to step up and lead, then it might as well be me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And tonight, this Blue Crew Live is dedicated to each and every one of you. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of Troy, Charity, and all of us here at Bridge the Blue, thank you for stepping up to the plate. And so, again, I hope that you enjoyed tonight's Blue Crew Live. It's a little bit different, but I hope that it was good. I'm fired up. I hope that you're fired up. Again, if you're catching the replay, #replay in the comments below. Remember, faith over fear. Faith does not deny a problem exists. Faith denies that problem a place of influence in your life. Take that into consideration as you're going into these rallies tomorrow, as you decide to make a decision to step up and to defend law enforcement, to defend truth, to be vocal and stand united. Let's let our voices be heard. Let's drop kick fear in the throat. Love you guys. God bless.